Hey, what's up? Just a quick video. This is Jason Smith with Responsible Timber. I wanted to shoot a quick video today just to talk to you a little bit about some of the frequently asked questions I get. Just a quick couple questions that I get pretty regularly whenever someone calls and wants to know about a job or ask about a job and like how much production I can put out. So, the number one question I get is how many logs can you saw in one day? And so that really depends. It depends on a lot of things. So it's really hard to say how many logs I can saw in one day. And one of the main things is it depends on, one, the diameter of the log, the species, whether it's a hardwood versus a softwood, and it also the length of the log. So if I'm sawing 8-foot lumber versus 12-foot lumber, it's a shorter cut. If I'm sawing a hardwood versus a softwood, it saws a little slower than a softwood. So I can cut through like cedar or pine a lot quicker than I can through like a oak or hickory. And then it also depends on the diameter of the log. So in this particular instance, like the diameter of this log right here, this is a red oak log, and it's about 26 inches in diameter. And so this is a pretty common size log right here. This is kind of what we would prefer, something about this size, because it's kind of, I would say it's a kind of a medium-sized log, and so there's going to be quite a bit of lumber in it. And so anyway, this is a good size, and I could probably saw through about anywhere from 12 to 15 of these in about probably 7 hours of saw time. And it depends on it also depends on the cuts, right? So if you're wanting just one by material, it's gonna go a lot slower because I'm having to make a lot more cuts. But if you're looking to get like some posts out of this, I can saw through this pretty quick. It just depends. So the other question I get is like, what's the maximum log that we can saw? Technically, that sawmill, the portable mill that I have, can go up to 36 inches in diameter. But I tell people usually after once they get above 32 inches in diameter, you may have to trim a little bit off on the edges, just due to sometimes they flare out at the bottom, like a log will flare out. So a lot of times you'll have to trim off the edges and just make the log fit on the mill. The other thing is it significantly kind of slows you down whenever you're dealing with something that big. Like if I got a 35-inch in diameter log on that sawmill, there's a lot more lumber in that log, but it also slows you down tremendously whenever you're trying to saw it, just due to the sheer size and the weight of it. So a lot of times if it's above 32 inches in diameter, I usually try to figure out what the species is, because like if it's red oak or something like that, that stuff is so heavy and it's so dense. It's really a judgment call whenever I get on site, but if it's too big, I don't want it on my mill just due to the sheer weight and size of it, because I don't want to mess up my equipment. And then the other question I get is like, how much lumber can I get out of a log? So like this log right here, again, it depends a lot on the quality of the log, whether it's got a bunch of knots in it or whether it's more of like a veneer log that has no knots and it's got nice straight grain in it. So that has a lot to do with it. And then you can also look up online, it's called the Doyle Scale, and that will give you a pretty good estimate as to how much lumber is in this log based on what you're trying to get out of it. So like for like a 1x8x8 is about 6 board feet. A little over 6 board feet, and there's a scale out there. It's called the Doyle Scale, and this is what most of your sawmills on the eastern side of the country go with, is the Doyle Scale. So basically, whenever they look at a log like this, they say, okay, there's going to be approximately 250 board feet in this particular log based on the diameter and the length of it. So there's a scale out there, so I would encourage you to kind of educate yourself about it, and it doesn't take long. There's PDFs of it out there. And it's what most of your local hardwood mills use to estimate board feet in a log. So, and then the other thing I wanted to mention was staging logs. That's another question I get. Whenever I roll up on a job, sometimes logs will be everywhere. And so I tell people, I'm like, well, you don't really want to pay me to move logs around. So if you can have them kind of in a pile like this where I can just roll them roll them to my sawmill, and then my sawmill will actually pick the logs up and put it on the mill and actually saw it. So I'm kind of expensive to be moving logs around all day, but you know, we'll do it. It's actually a service that we'll do. But like I said, usually when I show up with that sawmill, you want the logs in a pile like this, or you know, kind of lined up, and where I can just take my cant hook and I can just roll them, and then they'll be ready to saw. So hopefully this will help with some frequently asked questions that we get. And yeah, if you have any more questions, just let us know. Thanks so much.